Good morning. Welcome everyone. I am Erina and today is our first meeting. And let's discuss our first topic, which is the characteristic of public sector organization. Many of you wondering what is public sector organization and what the definition of it. Before we understand further about public sector organization, we must know the types of public sector organization themselves. Type of public sector organization. The first, pure profit organization. The purpose of this organization is to provide or sell goods and or services with the main aim of obtaining as much profit as possible so that it can be enjoyed by the owner. The organization funding sources come from private investor and creditor. The second, quasi-profit organization. The purpose of this organization is to provide or sell goods and or services with the intention of making a profit and achieving the other goals or objective as desired by the owner. Sources of funding for this organization come from private investor, government investor, creditor, and members. The third, quasi-non-profit organization. The purpose of this organization is to provide or sell goods and or services with the intention of serving the community and making profit or surplus. The organization funding source come from government investor, private investor, and creditor. The last one, pure non-profit organization. The purpose of this organization is to provide or sell goods and services with a view to serving and improving the welfare of the community. Sources of funding for this organization come from tax retribution, debt, BUMN or BUMD profit, grant, donation, sales of state assets, and so on. Definition of public sector organization. So, we can say that to the point of view of economics, the public sector is often defined as an entity whose activities are related to the provision of goods and services to meet the needs and rights of the public. The other definition, public sector is everything that is related to the public interest and the provision of goods or services to the public which are paid for through taxes or other state revenue which are regulated by the law. For example, of the public sector are the field of health, education, security, and transportation or religiosity. So, we move to the characteristic of public sector organization. The first, not looking for financial gain. The second, owned by the public. The third, ownership of resource is not in the form of share. And the last one, for decision based on consensus. Next slide is talking about public sector organization group. The first, government agency. The second, religious organization, social organization, foundation, educational institution, and the last, health organization. Next one, we are talking about main role of government. The first, regulatory role. The main role of government is in setting regulation on public sector management so as not to harm the community. The second, enabling role. The main role of the government is in carrying out the management of the public sector so that it is possible to enjoy the interest of the wider community easily. The last, direct provision of goods and services. The main role of the government is to provide public goods easily to the community even though their management is left to the private sector. We will talking about similarities between public sector organization and companies. First, they are an integral part of national economic system. The second, facing limited resource to achieve goal. The third, the pattern of financial management is the same. And same have the same product output. And the last, regulated by law and regulation. Now, we are talking about the difference between public sector organization and companies. The first, organization goals. The second, source of funding. The third, laws and regulation ownership. Fourth, accountability. And then organizational structure, budget, content basic, and the last, benchmark. Scope of public sector organization. The first, moving in very complex, varied environment. The second, public sector absorb a large number of workers. The third, environmental factors that affect consist of A, economic factors, B, political factors, C, cultural factors, and D, demographic factors. Development of public sector accounting. The magnitude of the government, the large and most dominant public sector entity. Efforts were made to establish standards relevant to the practice of public sector organization, both IAI and the government. The uniqueness of accounting in public sector. The first, tend to be less uniform. The second, formulation of accounting standard adoption to existing regulation. The third, case-based accounting. And the last, financial statement product as public accountability media. Thank you. I'm Erina from Accounting Department, Economic and Business Faculty, Airlangga University. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next session. Bye.